is a swinging pipe, and the hose hooks onto here, and so there's pressurized manure coming. With us, it could come 6 miles or more to this outfit. We run about 15 to 1,800 gallons a minute through this machine, and it has a flow meter in here, so the manure goes to the middle, goes through the flow meter and into this distributor, and this distributor has a big wheel in there with all little wheels on it, and you can put more or less on there depending on your flow, and that passes over the ends of these to keep cleaning it off and to turn it off and on. So this is like the Willy Wonka machine that's bloop, 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 and that's how it pulses manure down these small hoses. This originally came with little nozzles on also, so that it actually would kind of try to nozzle it into the little groove left by these tines, but any little hair, turds, they just became a nightmare to keep going. And so, so we've just opened it up and simplified it. This is a heavy machine. I think this part cost about $40,000 for this, so it's really expensive. And but distribution is everything. And this is a high maintenance machine, but the beauty of it is it just stirs a little bit, keeps the residue on top, kind of punches in any corn stalks a little bit, and the combination of that and the manure then soaking in that top few inches, it accomplishes what we want to with this machine. So it's not pulling up wet clay or whatever, and it's a fairly high volume machine. Troubles are, it's not exactly well built. It develops leaks, which then affect distribution. Occasionally you get hoses plugged, and those are all wear items there, and it will eat bearings. So we have to rebuild it twice a year typically, and we have our service truck. We have spare spindles all made up so that they can get out and change that in a hurry and get going. But once you're running manure, you want to keep going. This tractor is an old tractor. It's the favorite for this, not because of it's got a nice cab, but because they can turn on the end. And so if you, I don't know, does anyone drag hose much here? So you have yeah, Harp does. So if you have a square field, you would lay a supply hose and then the drag hose, and that's how you would start. And then you turn and you come this way, and this way, and this way, and just work your way to the end so that the hose just pulls out. And the hose is a real dynamic thing. If you turn wrong or whatever, you can twist it up and wreck it. A quarter-mile drag hose is $16,000. So, and then when they get to the end, they'll pull it out and then get back here and do that. So, so turning on the end is a big part. So this is the original tool. We have a love-hate relationship with these. Any questions?
How much compaction do you think it saves you to drag hose as opposed to towing tanks around? Because you must have some fields where you can't drag hose, is that correct? Some little corner of the...
No, I don't think, we don't. We have a $100,000 tank sitting there that has, we use it for storage and stuff.
I took a picture of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Tanks, especially with tires, do so much damage underneath. And this will be surface because it's wet, and you have to drive over it wet, and then it's squishy. And that's why we got that other tillage tool to level it out when it dries. But there's less deep compaction with this. And the clay soils become so open as you get them drained. There's such active worm activity, and if you don't do some stirring before, that manure wants to go down those wormholes really quickly. And so we'll do, a lot of the fields will split and do an application spring and fall just to reduce the amount of manure going on in one time. Our reproductive manure is high volume, really low density. So we're talking less than 1% solids.
Is that why you were thinking of separation? When you were talking separation, you talked about separation liquids and solids?
It's more to get the stuff through so it can go through our through the pivot nozzles.
Oh,
Yeah,
related to irrigation?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's really low density stuff.
The other advantage solid separation gives you is you can separate some of that phosphorus stream out from the nitrogen and potassium. Maybe not an issue for Bob because he's not dealing with as much finishing manure, but certainly a finishing operation where somebody who's really got their phosphorus cranked up, that becomes really critical.
Yeah, our farrowing manure, which we keep separate, so that's from baby pig production and a lot of wash water. We're looking at under 1 pound of phosphorus per 1,000 gallons. Our gestation manure would be, that can vary a little bit, but would be probably 2 to 4 per 1,000 gallons. And finishing manure can be 15 to 50 pounds per 1,000 gallons. So testing, knowing what you have.
Do you find with your testing data that over time you've got a fairly consistent product, or does it vary a lot year to year?
We don't know if the manure varies or the tests vary. We think the tests vary. And so we start to look at a series of tests based on those individual pits and maybe apply based on 2 or 3 years.
Now, do you think
Is that what we do?
Yeah, pretty much.
you think the tests are varying because of a sampling error on your end or a testing error on the lab's end?
If you think about the whole process of testing a liquid that has solids in suspension, and I think about how to do that. First of all, how do you get the test? You know?
You stir the pit first, you take it at different levels.
And it's subtle, you know. So you've got to first get the test, and then if you have just a little wad of a manure turd in the wrong place, it just throws it off. If it settles in the thing when they shake it up or whatever, it can throw it off. It's just really hard to get good tests. We have the same thing when we look at the liquid byproducts for feeding our sows, and how do we, with these mixtures, how do we get good samples? And so you do a lot of sampling and kind of do some Olympic averaging.
You ever think about looking at electrical conductivity readings or something like that to try to...
In the soil or with that? Haven't looked at that.
Yeah, I didn't put it on my practice list, you may have noticed.
I think we have some growers in Indiana that have those things that they drag through the soil to look at conductivity. There's some real passionate people out there.
It's an interesting technology. Questions, anybody?
And we do have growers that have been no-till for decades in Indiana that put manure on, finishing manure on, and have made it. Can we move on?
Sure.